The NoFate channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Home Gym, I am going over the different types of weightlifting belts and how you can choose the right weightlifting belt that best meets your needs. If this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. On this series, I simply review a piece of gym equipment or gym accessory to help you decide what might be right for your home gym and what might be right to incorporate into your normal fitness training routine. If you have been subscribed to this channel for a while, you know I've reviewed a number of weightlifting belts in previous videos, so I thought it would be an ideal time to go over the different types of belts and, more importantly, how to choose a good belt that's going to last you a long time. So who needs a weightlifting belt? I know there are many of you screaming at this video that you don't need a weightlifting belt, you just need a strong back. And to those gym hardos out there, I have to admit there is a lot of truth to that. In reality, you shouldn't be relying very heavily on a weightlifting belt. Overall, you want to be focusing on really good form when you are lifting. And during your training routines, you really do want to incorporate a lot of core exercises to strengthen your abs and that lower back that are going to eventually help prevent injury much better than a weightlifting belt will do. However, there are a lot of you out there that are lifting extremely heavy. I mean, you're going for like 1 rep, 2 rep maxes very often, or like me, you have a pre-existing back injury and you are looking to still kind of train hard at the gym, but you don't want to hit snap city. So while less is more when it comes to utilizing weightlifting belts, many of you still need that weightlifting belt to protect your back and for those super heavy sets. So there are two different types predominantly of weightlifting belts. You've got your nylon, Velcro type belts, and you've got your leather type belts. And we're gonna go over some of the pros and cons. First and foremost, let's go over the leather belts. These are the ones that many people are familiar with, your traditional type belt. The biggest pros when it comes to traditional weightlifting belts is that they absolutely last forever. Because they're made of leather and there's almost no parts, there's almost nothing to break. As a prime example, I've been using this leather weightlifting belt since 7th grade, over 2 decades, and it still works just as good as the day that I bought it. Also, these leather weightlifting belts are a little bit more beefy. You can throw them around a little bit easier, kick them a few times, and they're still gonna come back for more. In terms of cons, leather belts do cost traditionally more than the nylon counterparts because, again, they do last forever. Also, with regards to cons in terms of negative, when you're trying to get these belts super tight, they can be uncomfortable. You do have to like suck in, pull them tight, do your set, and then when your set's over, suck in even more and to unlock them. As far as 2 pins versus 1 pin, I haven't noticed a difference. I happen to like 2 pins over 1 pin just in terms of how it is to lock it in, but that tends to be more personal preference. Now, within the leather weightlifting belts, you do have the more expensive and the more premium lever weightlifting belt. This is going to work just like a normal weightlifting belt, but you don't have to necessarily, really force that belt on or off because you have a lever mechanism. Overall, the lever belts are going to be more expensive because of that lever mechanism, and they do tend to take longer to break in. This is a 13mm lever belt. Traditionally, these lever belts are used by powerlifters or people doing super low reps because they can be uncomfortable once you cinch them super tight with this lever. Even though I'm not anywhere close to being a powerlifter and my days of 1 rep maxes is well behind me, I love these lever weightlifting belts. The on and off feature is just so convenient. And even though you can spend a pretty penny on these weightlifting belts, again, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, these things are going to last you an absolute lifetime. So let's go over to the nylon counterparts. Nylon weightlifting belts have become extremely popular for many reasons. First and foremost, they tend to be less than the leather counterparts. They do range in price depending on the quality you get, everywhere from $20 all the way up. I've seen some as high as $80. What's nice about them is they do come in different colors. As you can see, obviously I'm a fan of red and black, but they come in like 20, 30 different types of colors depending on the company that you go with. They come on and go off very easily. They fasten with Velcro, making it easy to just size appropriately depending on the type or thickness of the clothing you're wearing. If you're putting these on in the summertime versus you're putting them on in the wintertime when you've got like a sweatshirt on. So again, makes it super easy to put on and come off. What are the cons on these? With any yin, there is a yang. So obviously these nylon weightlifting belts are traditionally less money than their leather counterparts, but they do go bad. They don't necessarily last a lifetime. As you can imagine, the Velcro over time will just not be as effective, and eventually 4 or 5 years, depending on the quality of the belt you get, the Velcro is going to be rather useless. I will say, if you do take the time and do your research and get a nice quality nylon weightlifting belt, they do come many with lifetime warranties. That's why I picked these 3 to kind of showcase. I know this E26 has a lifetime warranty, and I know Chic has a great customer service. If you've got any issues with them, they've got a 2-year warranty, but if you have any issues, you just call them up and they'll take care of it for you. One of the nice benefits of the nylon weightlifting belts, and the reason that I typically go with the nylon weightlifting belt because of my pre-existing back injury, is that they tend to have a wider back. So you do get some, like these 2, that have like that traditional straight back that you see with the leather belt here. You get that traditional straight back that you see with the leather belt, but many come with a higher ridge. So this one I think is like either 5 or 6 inches, and you can get them in 5 or 6 inches to add extra support. And because of the contouring with regards to what they can do with the nylon, you can get more support higher and lower on your back. Also, if you can see, some of them are actually geared to be more comfortable around your hips, as you can see hopefully here. There's indents where your hips are, so that when you put this on and cinch it tight, it is going to sit nice and comfortable, and you can have this on for a little bit longer of a set if you're going to be doing higher reps, or if you're going to be doing maybe a circuit with heavy reps, you can just leave this on during your circuit, as opposed to a lever belt, which is going to be pretty brutal if you leave it on for anything more than, like, I don't know, 8 reps. This thing gets pretty uncomfortable quite quickly. Those are the biggest differences across the weightlifting belt spectrum. I want to talk about the biggest mistakes most people make. The 2 biggest mistakes that most people make when buying a weightlifting belt. Number 1 by far is that they go with the lowest cost belt they can find. They think that they're going to save money and get the job done anyway, and oftentimes they regret it after a month or 2 and they end up buying another belt. I would say, because these belts can last upwards of a lifetime, or at the very least you're looking at 5 to 6 years, put the money in. And it's easy for me to say because, of course, you're the one who has to pay for it. But think about it, something that's going to protect your back and something that you're going to be using regularly for the next 5 or 6 years. Take the time to put the extra money in to make sure you're getting exactly what you need and at the quality that you need. You don't want to buy a chintzy belt only to have to, buy another one in 6 months or even a year. And ultimately, you're going to be happier by putting in the extra money. The second mistake that we all get drawn into is that we get sold the sizzle. Because we don't go into the stores anymore and actually physically touch the belts and buy them there, we oftentimes will buy them online, sight unseen. We get sold those marketing photos, those super bright, over photoshopped photos that make you think those belts are amazing in color, that they're going to match your shoes perfectly with regards to your gym wardrobe. And because the bodybuilder that's using them is lifting a ton of weight, you kind of get sold that mindset. And I would say, beware of the marketing. You want to be picking a belt that is going to match your lifting style, whether you're doing CrossFit, powerlifting, bodybuilding, or if you're just doing plyometric stuff. And you want to be picking a belt that's going to match your back support needs. Hopefully you found this video informative. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And if there's any belts that you want me to review in future videos, hey, drop them in the comments below and I'll try to get my hands on them. If you come this far in the video, you know what to do. Give this video a like, hit that subscribe button. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. I am dedicated to helping you be a great parent to your children and still accomplish your own personal goals. I provide ideas and insights to help you save time, money, and your sanity. 3 things that are in short supply for every parent out there.